when was the last time you said yes to something new? And what would have happened had you said no? Let me take you back to a quiet evening a few years ago. ChatGPT was not yet a thing. I was working at my desk when my phone buzzed. A message from my son. 3 words only. Try this out. Typical of my son, he's always very brief. Below the message was a link which I clicked. I ended up on the website of an obscure startup called OpenAI. Intrigued, I typed a question into the text box. What happened next left me speechless. Words appeared one by one, forming a sentence which was coherent, nuanced, thoughtful, almost human. In that moment, I thought, this is not normal software. Today, I would like to share with you my enthusiasm for large language models, for LLMs. I would like to help you to say yes to this opportunity. LLMs are advanced AI systems that have been trained on vast amounts of text, books, articles, websites, blogs, tweets, you name it. To give you an idea of the scale, it has been estimated that if you were to take all the materials used to train a state-of-the-art LLM, it would reach hundreds of kilometers into the sky, higher than the clouds and even higher than the International Space Station. This extensive training allows LLMs to grasp the intricacies of human language, grammar, nuance, context, even humor. But how do they work? Imagine a parrot in your living room listening in on your conversations day after day. The parrot will recognize patterns and will begin predicting what comes next. So, you wake up, enter the living room, and say, good. And the parrot will respond with, morning. Large language models are advanced parrots. They are statistical next word predictors. They use neural networks, something similar to the human brain, to process and learn from large amounts of data. The neural network converts sentences into numbers that represent words and their relationships. The neural network predicts what comes next based on what came before. So when an LLM is prompted, is spoken to, it generates a probability distribution over next possible words. So take the sentence, the dog jumped over the. This could give rise to a number of possible completions. Out of this list, the LLM will randomly take one word. If the word is higher up on the list, then the LLM's response will be serious, maybe even slightly boring. The dog jumped over the fence, say. If the word chosen is at the lower end of the list, then the response of the LLM will be creative. It might even sound like a drunken sailor. The dog jumped over the moon. That's quite a large jump. Speaking of large jumps, the progress of these LLMs in the past has been spectacular. One of OpenAI's earlier models, GPT-2, which was released 5 years ago, was nice, but useless. That's how OpenAI presented it, by the way. It had the IQ of a very young child. Fast forward. OpenAI's most recent model, o1, operates at the level of a PhD. It has advanced reasoning capability. It thinks before it speaks, something that humans actually should also be doing. In a very prestigious math competition, this model scored 83%, and compare that with the previous record of 13%, so quite a large jump. OpenAI is not the only company in this space. There are many companies, they all have their own model, and all of these models compete against each other in this kind of gladiators arena. There is Microsoft, OpenAI's largest investor and also a competitor. There is Google, whose engineers invented the technology behind LLMs. There is Anthropic, a spin-off from OpenAI. There's Meta, who have open sourced their models. There's xAI, a recent market entrant, and there are a few others. Now that I've spoken about these large language models, let me tell you how you should be using them. Imagine the following. This is you. You're stuck in a challenging project. It's late at night. Actually, it's midnight. You don't know what to do. The deadline is looming. It's tomorrow. Actually, it's first thing tomorrow morning, you are told. Fortunately, your teammate is at hand, ready to assist you. Fresh perspectives is something that this teammate can give you at the click of a button, instantly, and at zero cost. Let me introduce this teammate, the LLM. This teammate has a few interesting features. The teammate has literally read the entire internet, is a master of all domains, is super logical and data-driven. What's not to love? Now, here's what I've come to realize. LLMs aren't just tools. They are members of the team. And this shift in perspective changes everything. The future isn't humans versus AI. It is humans and AI working together. And this future isn't a distant reality. It's happening right now. Let me give you a purely hypothetical example. Purely hypothetical. Me doing a TED presentation. Well, not really hypothetical. Anyway, I have done a few presentations in the past, but I had never spoken at a TED event. I had actually never attended a TED event. So I had to do a bit of research. And I asked my teammate all about these events. And this teammate is a walking encyclopedia, a true expert. I had hour-long discussions and got lots of important information. At one point, I felt a bit down. I had learned about all the challenges that you are faced when doing a TED talk. I learned about the expectation of the audience regarding a superior performance, about all the things that can go wrong when you're standing on a stage. Fortunately, my teammate calmed my nerves and told me to focus on the important points. My enthusiasm for the topic and the value that I can provide to the audience. By the way, my teammate is calling me Niklas, and I'm saying please. Do you say please and thank you to your dishwasher and microwave? Anyway, in the course of my discussion, I got lots of interesting input, feedback. think of the parrot analogy. Credit is due to my teammate. I also got lots of small mundane details. For example, the hand gestures that I should be using, or when should I do pauses. Which jokes would be appropriate, not all of them were, and which images I should be using. I got prompts for an AI image generator, Midjourney in this case. Remember that evening I told you about when I got that message from my son, try this out. That invitation opened up a world of possibilities for me. Today, I would like to pass on this invitation to you. You can have a collaborator by your side who turns your boldest ideas into reality. You have the power to say yes. What could this mean for you, your work, your world, your life? And what might you miss out if you say no? So here's my invitation to you. Try this out.